The Atari 2600 was released in 1977, and with it there were 9 launch titles, one of which was Blackjack. It's as self-explanatory as it sounds. You're playing blackjack. You get 200 chips to start, and by using the paddle controllers to swirl the numbers, you can bet up to 25 per hand. You place your bets and decide on whether to hit or stay, or double down, with the ultimate goal of reaching 1,000 chips, which hilariously is enough to break the bank. It plays nearly identical to the blackjack variation in the 2600 game Casino, which I've reviewed in the past. And that's not too surprising, seeing as how both games were programmed by Bob Whitehead. But Blackjack Standalone is a little more bare-boned than its unofficial follow-up. For one thing, you can't split hands, which is a real kick in the nuts when you end up drawing a pair of 8s or aces. Also, you can only have up to 3 players going up against the computer dealer, while in Casino you can have up to 4. And there are several options you can toggle in Casino, like whether or not the dealer will continue to hit after 17 if they're behind, which is not how casinos work, but still nice to have the option to play with. Not to mention the options of how often the dealer reshuffles, and how you can adjust the maximum number of cards dealt to the player before they automatically win. And of course in Casino you can play more than just blackjack. There's stud poker and poker solitaire. Now I hate to make this into a side-by-side comparison video, but I feel like the differences should be pointed out for reference. And when you boil it all down, there's no functional reason whatsoever to own a copy of Blackjack if you can get your hands on Casino. But for non-functionality, like filling up your collection, of course it makes sense. Now, Blackjack did come out first. I mean, it was one of the 9 launch titles, of course it did. So it's really unfair to bash Blackjack for being so minimal. Judging the game on its own merits, and taking its kinda sorta sequel out of the equation, there's nothing inherently wrong with this game. It does everything it's essentially supposed to, except for the whole inability to split cards thing, and a couple other bells and whistles. And there's also a weird glitch where the amount of chips you're betting on the next hand doesn't start off with the number you bet on last. It's just a random number every time. Apparently the glitch causes the number to shift based on your paddle movements even after you've already bet. It shifts in the background behind the game itself, so I guess it's not that random. It's a little weird, but you have to keep an eye on what you're betting. You can't just max out at 25 and expect to easily set yourself back up at 25. Other than that, it's a fine way to play blackjack, especially for the time. It's got an easy-to-use interface, the cards are easy to read, and since it's blackjack only, there's no need for suits. And of the 9 launch titles, this would easily be the best fit for the adult market and those that are non-gamers.
You got to know